Welcome to Voice of Feathers Tarot. If you clicked on this video, I want to say thank you. I hope you'll stick around as I trust there's going to be a message in here for you. I've already pulled some cards. I may pull some more as we go throughout the reading. But with that being said, let's get straight into the messages. So I have to say, first and foremost, I feel there's a very divinely guided, very fated reading in front of me. I haven't looked at it in depth, but just sort of like looking at the cards on the table, there are a lot of very significant major arcana cards in the reading. Starting off, for example, we have the Hermit. So you might feel that you're on sort of a spiritual journey of isolation at the moment. You could be going through some significant changes and transitions and finding that the only way to sort of cope with these is to indulge in solitude. That's what's coming out as the significator in the reading. I'll talk about the crossing energy in a second, but I just wanted to mention that we also have the Judgment card, the Hierophant, the Chariot, Justice, and the Sun. So how many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 out of 11 cards so far, a major arcana. So yeah, buckle up. We're going to get into it. I feel that there's lots to talk about here. As I said, you have the Hermit at the center of your reading. So this deck that I'm using is my favorite. It is the Wizard of Oz tarot deck. And the Hermit card is represented by Hickory here, and he ends up being the Tin Man in Dorothy's dream, so to speak. Okay. Or the Tin Woodsman, as he's otherwise known. He's quite a quiet character, but he has a lot of care and love for Dorothy. So that's what's coming out at the center of your reading. This could be representing you, or it could be representing someone that you're connected with. However, being the significator, this more often than not tends to represent the querent, so the person who the reading is for. Take it as it resonates, though. So if you feel like you're sort of in hermit mode at the moment, really sticking to yourself, maybe not socializing a lot, this is for a very good reason. The crossing card, however, is the Knight of Cans. So the cans represents the cups, the cups in this deck. So we're dealing with some tumultuous emotions, I'm seeing. So this card is represented by Dr. Marvel. So he's quite I don't know why I heard magnanimous. But I was going to say enigmatic. Like he's quite an enigmatic feature. I don't know why I said feature. I meant feature, creature. I don't know what that means. I don't know what feature, creature means. But I was trying to say he's an enigmatic character. Okay, so I feel like this might be representing a disruption of your solitude due to someone who's quite charismatic and might be carrying like a lot of tumultuous emotions, maybe for you or maybe just in general. Yeah, so I'm getting sort of like an interruption to your peace, basically, with those two cards. It doesn't have to be like a negative thing, but it does feel like maybe hermit mode becomes interrupted by someone, and it's almost like it shocks you. I don't know why I'm getting like it puts you back on the tracks. I was hearing like some sort of train track. So if you were like going along, okay, I see the connection here. So if you know Wizard of Oz and then the Wicked franchise as well, you'll know that in the Wizard of Oz, I don't know why I'm struggling to get my words out today, but Glinda, she sends Dorothy along the yellow brick road in order to meet the wizard. But the fact is that there's a train that goes directly to the Emerald City, and Glinda fails to mention that to Dorothy at all, so she somehow makes her walk. And so what I was getting is like, you've been walking on this journey, and it's almost like someone has rushed in, or someone has come in, or some energy has come in to stir up some emotions, and it's almost like it puts you on that train. It's like it's putting you on a faster route towards some sort of spiritual recognition. So what feels like a disruption is what I'm getting, is actually, it's actually rerouting you, and it's sending you on the fast train to your destination. The reason I'm saying that is because in the conscious energy, you've got the judgment card. So spiritual judgment is being called in whatever this situation is. It's very interesting. Like, just with Glinda being in the background of this card, sort of like, I don't know, she's tending to Dorothy here. And I think this is why, while the Munchkins are sort of like welcoming Dorothy to Munchkin Land, it's almost like she has an influence over Dorothy and Dorothy's path. And I feel like Glinda is just representing spirit, the spiritual nature of how things pan out. Either way, yeah, it's like Judgment Day is really coming. And I'm wondering what this is about. I do have two knights in the reading. So we could be dealing with a male figure. This could be like a young man. Doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to take the age literally, but someone who's like young of spirit, and someone who is like fast moving forward at this time. I'm getting that whoever this knight is, they weren't fast moving in the past. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have the Knight of Bricks in the past influence. This is represented by the horse of many, is it the horse of many colors? I think that's what they refer to the horse as. I always loved that as a little kid, that scene with the horse that changes color. So yeah, the Knight of Bricks or the Knight of Pentacles is like the slowest mover in the deck. So this could be relating to a person who really took their time when dealing with you. And I'm getting that, like, while this card should be a reliable energy with the different colored horses, the different colors of the horse, I'm getting that the most reliable thing about this knight or this person was how often they changed up. So they might have worn different masks depending on who they were around. They might have been a different person around you than they were to other people. And it was really hard to sort of like tie them down and really hard to pin them down. But the fact is they were being controlled in some way, shape, or form, because you can see that the horse here is still pulling this carriage and is still being directed by somebody here, somebody who's got influence in terms of maybe money. I'm seeing sort of like a rebellious energy with this horse, you know, it's like they might feel like they don't have much choice in how their life pans out, or they might feel like they're controlled by certain people or certain energies in their life. And I'm getting this as someone who you had involvements with in the past. And so I think that like the changing of colors is representing like their rebellion. So they would rebel in certain ways. They would even self-sabotage in certain ways, because even though it was chaotic, it gave them a sense of control of where their life was going, a sense of self-agency that they didn't actually have. So what you might not have realized about this person is how under the thumb of somebody else they actually were. So with the Hermit being the center card, I feel like there's been some separation between you and this person for some time. With the Knight of Cans coming through, however, as the challenge to this solitude, it seems that they've made at least an emotional leap back into your energy. So with the unconscious influences, we have the Three of Cans or the Three of Cups. This is definitely a coming together, a reconciliation, at least in terms of emotions. With the Judgment card here, it feels like I'm getting like a karmic cycle. Like this could have even been like you and another person. You had like you shared something together, some sort of spiritual connection. But for whatever reason, you had to go into separate paths. So they had to take the train and you had to walk the yellow brick road or something like that, vice versa. And yeah, it's almost like you're being put on the same train now, direct to the Emerald City, to meet ultimately your judgment. And judgment doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but it's sort of like, I don't know, you've reached a point in your journeys where spirit is appraising you of your deeds and your growth in this time, however long it took you to get to the Emerald City, whether that was by train or by foot on the yellow brick road. Yeah, you're being appraised of what you've done with that time, and what happens moving forward is going to be determined by how much you use that time to grow. I do see a reconciliation of hearts, of minds, maybe even a coming together of two or more people. It could even be three. It's interesting. Like this card is represented by these munchkins here. They're called the Lullaby League. Loved them when I was little. I thought it was the best part of the movie when they came on screen. So yeah, like I'm getting that this unconscious influence is talking about dreams as well. So if you haven't reconciled in the 3D, you're absolutely meeting each other in the dream space. Like this is happening quite a lot. So yeah, all of a sudden we've gone from the hermit's journey, you being in isolation, you doing something more or less alone, to this being about like some past soulmate or soul tie or person who you've had some sort of spiritual arrangement with. It's a reconciliation happening. So if you've been wanting to reconcile with somebody, it is actually here on the cards. If you're not wanting to reconcile with them, there is still the message here that there's something about this connection that you still need to reconcile within you, so that you can reach the Emerald City unscathed, basically, if that makes sense. I know this is all very symbolic, but more or less, it's like after some time, you might find yourself back in the energy or even the arms of somebody that you thought was lost to you for a long, long time. I am getting for a lot of you though, this isn't actually happening physically. It's almost like a forgiveness energy. It's like yeah, I think the reconciliation is like forgiving past wrongdoings or past actions so that you can reach the Emerald City on the same footing, on equal grounds. I'm getting that that's sort of how it has to be. So I'm not saying like you need to forgive abusive people or anything like that, but it's almost like a forgiveness of the situation, forgiveness of how the past played out, because it's ultimately led you here. So yeah, you might find yourself just reflecting a lot on things that have happened in the past and where you are now. I think there's a stark contrast. In the center cards I have in the reading here, they're all in black and white, and then all the cards around them are in full color. So yeah, certain things from the past that they're now being shown to you in full color. So some sort of information is being presented to you that helps a reconciliation. If this is not a physical reconciliation between you and another person or you and some other people, It's a reconciliation of hearts and ultimately a forgiveness of what happened in the past. I'm not getting a forgiveness of a person, but a forgiveness of the way things had to pan out. If that's going to resonate with you, you're going to know about it. The forthcoming influences, we've got the Hierophant. This is why it feels like a very spiritual journey to me. Like the Hierophant being basically sort of like the Pope or the High Priest energy, a masculine figure. You could be dealing with a divine masculine figure. This could be who you're coming into reconciliation with. I see the Hermit and the Hierophant very linked here, though. Like, they are next to each other in the way that I'm viewing them. I'm getting, yeah, it's something about an integration between isolation and then who you meet along the journey, and seeing how they fit into the picture in full color. I'm also seeing that, like, if this is representing a different person, or this could be representing you, it's almost like they have something to offer you, or you have more to offer than you did in the past. I don't know why I heard like that. I don't know, some song lyrics like "This is growing up" is what I heard. So there could be a lot of like a lot of growing up being done or has been done in the past couple of years. This is growing up. Blink 182. Damn it, lyrics. Okay, so let me read these out. It's all right to tell me what you think about me. I won't try to argue or hold it against you. I know that you're leaving. You must have your reasons. The season is calling. Your pictures are falling down. The steps that I retrace, the sad look on your face, the timing and structure. Did you hear her? A day late, a buck short. I'm writing the report. I'm losing and failing. When I move, I'm failing now. And it's happening once again. I'll turn to a friend, someone that understands and sees through the master plan. But everyone's gone, and I've been here too long to face this on my own. Well, I guess this is growing up. And maybe I'll see you at a movie sneak preview. You'll show up and walk by on the arm of that guy, and I'll smile and you'll wave and we'll pretend it's okay. The charade, it won't last. When he's gone, I won't come back. And it'll happen once again. You'll turn to a friend, someone that understands and sees through the master plan. But everybody's gone. You've been there too long to face this on your own. Well, I guess this is growing up. Those lyrics might relate to your situation. So this could be two souls who are basically wrestling with the fact that they have to move on from each other, and what that means moving forward if they re-encounter each other's energy. So yeah, it's a very conflicting energy in this song. It's almost like, oh, I really hope to run into you. But there's also like a slight bitterness here as well. And that's very interesting to me, because I see that as sort of like representing this Knight of Cups as the blockage. It's not a full emotional maturity. It's almost there. It's almost there, but it's not a full emotional maturity. So yeah. Interesting. I don't know what else to say about that, but that song came through. Justice is the advice. Look at that. So that is actually the Wicked Witch. Oh my god, I forget. Is she of the east? South? I can't remember. I should know. Anyway, it's Elphaba's sister, basically. Which, if you've seen Wicked, her name is Nessa Rose. But in The Wizard of Oz, you don't get to see her. You don't really know her name or anything like that. But Dorothy's house falls on her and kills her. And the Munchkins praise her for that. So, yeah, it's basically like, it's telling you that if you've done nothing wrong, I'm more getting like I don't know, something might happen where symbolically it's, let's say, like your house lands on someone and kills them. It doesn't have to be as dire as that, but an action from you, it causes justice to be swiftly enacted. So um you might be serving as like a spiritual judge in this situation, um which means you're being called to assess the situation, assess what was done, assess any wrongdoings, and basically give spirit the go ahead and be like, yeah, um that wasn't right, that wasn't fair. I'm struggling to articulate this, but it's almost like it's your conscious recognition of wrongdoing that allows spirit to enact justice. So you're being called to reflect on that. And I heard you're being called to reflect on that in black and white. So I'm hearing that the time for nuance has actually passed. It's easier for you to look at this in black and white terms. The full spectrum of color, of course, is here. It's surrounding the central cards. But for your advice, you're being asked to look at what is plain English or what is black and white. You're not being asked to read between the lines here. Take things on face value and move accordingly. If I hope that makes sense. External influences or how others view you or the situation. We've got the Eight of Bricks or the Eight of Pentacles. Hardworking, dedicated, a master of your craft. This is how you're being viewed at this time. But you also are giving this energy of like can't be disturbed, won't be disturbed. You're just focusing on you, building your life, and that sort of thing. And yeah, you're being recognized as someone who really has the potential to have it all, and to cultivate a life that they have dreamed of since they were a child. I'm hearing. So that's how you're being viewed at the moment. Very, very fair, hardworking, and dedicated. So if you're worried about how judgment's going to fall on you, don't, because I'm hearing the writing is on the wall. Um, nothing here. You can't be blamed for anything here. And there's nothing that you've done other than work really hard on yourself and work really hard to cultivate skills and a life that is really respectable. So that's what I'm seeing there. For the hopes and the fears, we've got the Chariot. All right, cool. So there's lots of horses in this reading. So look out for horses as synchronicities moving forward. Well, yeah, there we go. The horses mean moving forward. So they mean freedom as well. A lot of these horses aren't free in these cards though. They're sort of domesticated and they're being used for transport, for travel. But I think what this is saying is that you hope to be free, you hope to be moving on, but you fear that there's still something that chains or binds you to the past, and um it could be representing like the knight that I was talking about in your past, and then the other horse could be you. You might feel like you're in this together, that there's no getting off of this path. As much as you try to move on, you're always going to be linked in some way. And so I think that's coming out as the hopes and the fears that, you really want to be independent and free, but you're fearing that, like, for whatever reason, you made a deal that has you connected to this person or this path that you're both on. So if it's not you connected to a person, it's you and another person being connected on a similar path, and it means that you constantly cross paths in life. You could be fearing that. I think that, yeah, you're fearing a lack of agency when it comes to either keeping someone out of your life or whether to let them back in. I think that there's a recognition that spirit is leading this dance. And I think that's what's scaring you, especially as someone who is coming up as the hermit. You just want to be alone. You just want to be left alone. But that's not how life works. And unfortunately, like, I'm getting that you're a catalyst for a lot of movement in the spirit realm, a catalyst for a lot of other people's awakenings and ascension. Um, so it's almost like you get sort of like woken up from your nap, I don't know, to just to help people out of a pickle, or to just, I don't know. I'm just getting a lot of people. Okay, I heard you might be getting more people asking for your advice, more people asking for help or favors from you. Um, you might sort of feel left, right, and center. You're being distracted from things you're trying to focus on, and I'm getting this is all sort of like part of that reintegration. So you've gone on your own. You've gone your own way. You've gone on your own path, and now you're being aligned with others. This could be just one other person, like the soul I was connecting to with that night energy, or it could be several people. But if you felt separated or alone for some time, I think that that's changing. But it's changing for the better. I don't think there's anything really nasty here. Like, there was there was sort of like the call to, I don't know, see things in black and white and to call judgment on wrongdoings, but ultimately I see this as like a healing the past and moving forward in forgiveness and light and love. And everything here is being illuminated by the outcome card, the sun. And you can see those beautiful ruby slippers. Dorothy had the power to come home the whole time. In fact, she didn't even need the train. That's what's kind of interesting about this. Is like a lot of people say, "Oh, Glinda, she misled Dorothy. She could have told Dorothy just to get the train to Emerald City, but she didn't even need to go to Emerald City. She just needed to recognize that she had the power all along to go home." So that's what's coming to light here. Um, if anything hasn't made sense, or if anything hasn't felt fair in how things have worked out in the past, or your dealings with someone in the past, I feel like that's being lifted. I feel like it's being completely lifted. Like, you're not going to feel that heaviness anymore. Um, it's just going to feel very divine and very warm, very fertile and abundant. I do get reconciliation energy, or at least I don't know, just like a community and a celebration, some reason to celebrate. The other thing though to consider is that the reason the Munchkins are celebrating is because the witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. So I don't know. You might be celebrating something that doesn't feel like you should conventionally celebrate, but whatever this is, it lifts a huge shadow um, off of your life, and it allows the sun to come in, and the sun only causes things to grow even more and to reach their full potential. Got one more card on the bottom of the deck, and it is the Seven of Bricks, or Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so like I was saying, the sun, it allows things to grow and to be more fertile. It allows for that harvest that we're wanting. The Seven of Pentacles talks about needing patience in the season that we're in. So I think this is saying, like, if you have patience in the season that you're in right now, that's what's going to cause the best outcome possible. It's going to cause the most reconciliation, the most peace, the most warmth in your connections and your dealings moving forward. You're going to feel aligned. You're not going to be fearing anything. You're going to be in a point where you don't fear bumping into that person from the past, because you're okay with where you're at. You're okay with seeing where they're at. You're a different person now, and as long as you can remain patient with the season that you're in, patient with yourself, patient with others, you're going to be just fine. I think that's everything that I have. There was sort of something else that wanted to come through, if I can remember what it was. Yeah, it was something about I don't know, if you're feeling like you just want to focus or you just want alone time and you're feeling bothered by people, um just persevere with that. Be patient through that because it is trying to transmute something. I think it's trying to help you out of the hermit mode because it can be very addictive to be in hermit mode, you know? Like you're not being bothered by people, you're just doing your own thing. But if you're just constantly in the dark and the only source of light that you have is that little lamp, it's going to limit you, right? What we want is to be in the full sun. So that's the message that I have for you. If it resonated, let me know and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video if you're ever so inclined. Thanks for watching.